Unveiling a web of deception and audacity, the Citybonds heist stands as a landmark in the annals of crime history. How did what seemed like a routine courier mugging escalate into an elaborate global operation, drawing together crime groups as diverse as the New York Mafia, IRA, and Colombian drug barons? What were the untraceable bearer bonds that vanished into thin air, only to reappear in Glasgow, New York, Miami, Peru, and Zurich? The Citybonds heist stands as one of the most audacious and elaborate robberies in UK history, its intricacies woven through an international web of crime. In 1990, London witnessed the theft of £291.9 million in bearer bonds, a staggering sum equivalent to £670 million in 2019. What initially appeared as a straightforward courier mugging unveiled a highly coordinated operation that spanned the globe. Crime syndicates, including the New York Mafia, IRA, and Colombian drug cartels, converged to orchestrate this grand theft. The stolen assets were in the form of certificates of deposit and Treasury bills, strategically concealed in various locations like Glasgow, New York, Miami, Peru, and Zurich. Key figures like Patrick Thomas, Keith Cheeseman, and John Traynor emerged in this intricate narrative, leaving behind a trail of informants, collaborators, and unfortunate deaths. The bonds' untraceable nature rendered their retrieval and restitution a complex endeavor for law enforcement. The Citybonds heist remains a remarkable testament to the convergence of criminal minds and their pursuit of vast fortunes. Beyond the monetary loss, the heist underscored the reach and organization of global criminal networks, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of high-stakes crime. The pivotal event of the Citybonds heist unfolded in the heart of London during 1990. This audacious robbery centered on the theft of bearer bonds amounting to a staggering £291.9 million. Adjusted for inflation, this astronomical sum translates to an astounding £670 million in the context of 2019. Bearer bonds, securities that don't require registration and are owned by whoever physically holds them, became the target of a meticulously orchestrated operation that took place against the backdrop of the bustling UK capital. The criminals exploited the liquidity-driven movement of money through the City of London, capitalizing on couriers responsible for ensuring financial fluidity within the nation's economic system. The stolen funds were encapsulated in the form of certificates of deposit and Treasury bills, a sophisticated financial instrument that facilitated the perpetration of this heist. The enormity of the stolen amount, coupled with its untraceable nature, generated shockwaves that resonated far beyond the city's limits, leaving an enduring mark on the annals of criminal history. What began as a seemingly straightforward courier mugging soon unveiled a complex and expansive global operation in the Citybonds heist saga. Initially, the incident bore the hallmarks of a mundane street crime, with a courier reportedly being robbed of valuable bond. However, this deceptive facade masked a meticulously planned and intricately coordinated operation that stretched across continents. As investigators delved deeper, the veneer of a mere mugging quickly faded. It became evident that this was no ordinary street robbery, but rather a carefully crafted plot that involved the collusion of crime groups from around the world. The heist's scope transcended geographic boundaries, with key players spanning from the New York Mafia to the Irish Republican Army and even Colombian drug barons. The transformation from a simple courier mugging to a complex global conspiracy underscored the sophistication of the criminal network behind the Citybonds heist. This revelation shattered the initial perceptions, revealing a narrative that defied expectations and highlighted the extent to which criminal enterprises could strategically exploit seemingly routine events to execute high-stakes operations. The Citybonds heist brought together a convergence of formidable crime groups, creating an intricate tapestry of collaboration and intrigue. Among the key players were the notorious New York Mafia, the Irish Republican Army, IRA, and the powerful Colombian drug barons. The involvement of the New York Mafia, which is well known for their power and preeminence in the world of organized crime, brought an additional level of international complication to the robbery. Because of their familiarity with the process of money laundering and their ties inside the underworld, they were an essential component of the operation. Given their long history of armed struggle in Northern Ireland, the Irish Republican Army's participation gave a political dimension to conflict. Their extensive network, as well as their extensive experience in covert actions, gave the robbery a more hidden air. Equally important were the Colombian drug barons, who were well known for their ability to orchestrate large-scale criminal businesses. This reputation preceded them. Because of their resources and connections, the distribution and laundering of stolen property was made much easier. In the annals of criminal history, the collaboration between the Irish Republican Army, IRA, and Colombian drug barons in the city bonds, Heist stands as a testament to the complex web of alliances that may emerge when enormous fortunes are at stake. This cooperation occurred during the city bonds heist. The city bonds heist resulted in the theft of a sizable amount of bonds, which included certificates of deposit and EM treasury bills. These financial items had substantial value, and their use in the daring theft was essential to their success. The fact that the certificates of deposit and HEM treasury bills had been purposefully crafted to negotiate the complexities of the financial system made them an excellent target for the illegal activity. The aftermath of the robbery resulted in a recovery effort that involved multiple facets and spread over a variety of geographical places. As the ties were found in a variety of locations around the world, they left a trail of mystery that stretched from Glasgow to New York, from Miami to Peru, and even all the way to Zurich. The appearance of the bonds in such a wide variety of far-flung places presented a vivid image of the expansive operation's reach across the world. In addition to this, it brought to light the transcontinental reach of the criminal organization's network, as well as their capacity to disperse and conceal the stolen assets. As a result of the city bonds heist, the trajectories of the individuals who were arrested for their involvement substantially diverged, demonstrating the variety of outcomes that can result from engaging in criminal action. When they were confronted with the weight of their acts and the potential consequences, certain individuals made the decision to collaborate with police enforcement as informants. Because of this decision, the inner workings of the criminal network were laid bare, and the complex web of conspiracies that had been used to pull off the theft were revealed. These informants, who may have been motivated by the need to protect themselves or by other factors, were essential in assisting investigators in putting the pieces of the puzzle together. On the other hand, some people took this road, and it brought them to a far darker end. During the course of the theft, some of the participants got themselves caught up in a web of violence and retaliation, which ultimately led to their deaths. Because of the enormous stakes involved in the operation and the unpredictable nature of the relationships amongst criminals, a lot of people ended up in a precarious situation, and some of them even ended up losing their lives. In addition, the threat of extradition punishments loomed over the heads of those whose positions in the international criminal network were exposed. The reach of the law stretched beyond national boundaries, resulting in the extradition of some individuals to jurisdictions in other countries so that they may face the consequences of their action. Underscoring the human drama that played out in the wake of the city bonds heist were the diverse paths that were taken by informants, victims of violence, and those who were facing extradition. These paths underlined the complicated and unpredictable nature of criminal enterprises. The city bonds heist gave rise to a cast of notorious figures, each of whom left an unmistakable stamp on the complex web that is the criminal underground. Patrick Thomas, a key player in the enterprise, was the one who was responsible for creating the original impression of a courier robbery, which eventually turned out to be a cover for a much larger global conspiracy. His involvement went further than only this heist. It also included connections to drug selling and robbery, painting a picture of a life profoundly entangled in illegal activity. Keith Cheeseman, who had a history of participating in fraudulent schemes and intricate deceptions, emerged as a key participant in this drama. The complexity of the heist's implementation was epitomized by his involvement, which included communicating between different criminal organizations and orchestrating various transactions. In a similar manner, John Traynor was able to successfully navigate the underworld by leveraging his affiliation with the dangerous criminal Martin Cahill to his advantage. The fact that Traynor was able to flee from Ireland to England demonstrates his skill at evading capture by the authorities, which was demonstrated by his participation in the schemes involving the theft of bonds and fraudulent mortgages. And that is it for this video. Subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this.